Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. We can't see you, but we can proceed like this if you like.
I don't know why I can see you clearly.
That's right. There will be a video icon, but look, we can proceed audio. We've got you for 5 minutes, and we've got your submission in front of us, so we can just get straight into it. You can speak to your submission now. So thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And as you will see, I migrated from India almost about 20 years back, and I'm now a citizen of New Zealand. So my main submission and my main thoughts, I would say, as to the Waitangi was that I believe that every citizen should have equal rights. That is the underlying principle of all democracies and all constitutions all over the world. So as long as the equality is maintained for all citizens, then of course we have various ethnicities, various people from different countries who are all here to do what they do best. But under no circumstances should we have any legal system where you decide by ethnicity, you decide by somebody's walked in 5 years back or 20 years back, so he has more rights and we have less rights. So basically mine is a equality for all citizens of New Zealand. That's the first part. And the second part is that we have to understand that in a democracy, it's the will of the people that decides everything. If the will of the people, if the majority of the people want a change, then there is no option but to go with the change. The parliament is supreme. And once I would even go to the extent of saying that if there are any disputes, the best way to resolve is a referendum. Have a referendum, find out what the people of the country want, and that's ultimately, that's going to be what it is. And you cannot always go by old documents, 200-year-old, 100-year-old. If you remember the British parliament system, they once had a Magna Carta, which was the ultimate thing of how to run the government. But it's changed over the years. So I feel the only thing permanent in life is change. And you have to accept the change, and you have to accept what it is. So any other questions that you would like me to answer, or?
Yes, we have a question from Steve Abel.
Yes, please.
Kia ora, thank you for your submission. I wonder if you would agree that in a rights framework, which were sort of devised back from the days of the Magna Carta and before, devised to protect people from the tyranny of power and from the tyranny of the majority. So by definition, certain rights, such as the rights of the children, only belong to some parts of the society, because we're not children, we're adults, we don't have rights of children.
Absolutely, sir.
And so those rights frameworks actually allow for things like the rights of people to practice minority religions and the rights of Indigenous people to have things like the founding agreement of Aotearoa New Zealand, which is Te Tiriti, upheld and honoured rather than undermined. Don't you think that is consistent with a rights framework and an idea of fair use of the law for all?
No, absolutely. I agree with you, sir, that it is, the minorities have got to be protected and the rights have also got to be protected. But sometimes, sorry.
No, sorry, I thought you finished.
Oh, no. So I say I totally agree that the minorities and the rights should be protected. But a law which was made 150, 200 years back, an agreement which is made to that, has to change with time. You cannot stick to just, I'm an Indian and I've migrated from India. And we also have very strong cultural and religious beliefs in India, which go back not 100, 200 years, thousands of years back. But slowly with time, slowly, you got to realize that some practices which we are being followed are not good or are not beneficial, and they have to change. And the people have to change along with that.
Right. Sorry. Thank you, Bhushan. We haven't got time for another question. I apologise. We're out of time. But thank you for your submission, and thank you for your very brief written submission as well. Well done.
It's interesting to hear someone's perspective from the Indian caste system, which is very dictatorial compared to our system, of how some people, due to your status at birth, elevates over others. And it's interesting just hearing, how they've come to their perspective. I'm not sure how you came across with that submission, though.
Look, I don't know that I could really say much on or add much on to the sentiment that what Bhushan shared from his personal perspective. I think what I did pick up on there, though, as a little bit of a leave behind, was that change is inevitable and that communities do need to go with those changes sometimes. Yeah, I would agree. As part of this conversations, one of the things that we do as a solution tool is we often pivot externally and we look outside or we look elsewhere to see where we may learn or we may, maybe just draw on other parallels. But my personal opinion is that this is a moment for us to actually be the ones that people look at and for us to pivot internally. I think we have an incredible opportunity to actually be able to contribute to really much broader, wider international discussions on what a true partnership does look like and how that honors all of the people that are impacted and involved with that. So, yeah, I'll probably just maybe that's where I'd be comfortable to leave that thought.
Yeah. Okay. Next is Dennis Grinnell.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. Who's got the order, paper podcast?